Hello there. Welcome. I'm Michelle Marchant Johnson. So excited you've registered for Ready for the Right Guy. And I've asked each of our speakers to give you just a little something to start with before we start the main event. Each of the speakers will be sharing with you a tip or an idea or piece of advice for those of you that want to be ready for the right guy and attract love in the new year. And today our guest is Ken Bechtel. He is the creator and host of the wildly popular Speaking of Partnership podcast, and his main website is kenbechtel.com. Welcome, Ken.
Hey, Michelle, how are you?
I'm great. So happy to have you here, and Happy New Year to you, and Happy New Year to everybody.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be a part of this event. It's always a great event. And, you know, it was so much fun because we were talking about, like, obviously the event's called Ready for the Right Guy, but we were talking about you got to start at the beginning, right? You got to get the second date and the third date and so on from there. Because a lot of people get the first date, but they're like, they never go anywhere. It's over. And one of the things I want to bring forward is when you're planning a date with someone, I invite you to start being in partnership right then. So what you want to focus on is what's going to allow you to show up as your best self. I'll give you an example. I had a client I was working with, and she was in Canada. She lived outside of Toronto, and she had this gentleman that she was going to go see. And we were talking about the date that's coming up, and she said, I realized that he invited us, to meet. It was their first time meeting, so they were going to meet for coffee. And he gave a location. Well, it happened to be quite a ways from where she lived, and being in this big city, she doesn't have a car. She takes public transit. And she goes, I'll have to actually take 2 trains to get there, and I'll be really tired, and I know I'll already be cranky by the time I get there just from all the traveling. And so I invited her. I said, well, why don't you let him know that? He doesn't know where you live. Let him know that this would be a difficult commute because you don't drive, and see what happens. So she did. So she contacts him back. She said, hey, I looked at the schedule, and I know you don't know this, but I don't drive a car, so I'm going to be taking the train, and I actually have to make some connections. Could we actually pick another location that's just at the end of the first line so I don't have to make the extra connection? She was making sure she was going to show up in her best way, right? Well, the guy's like, yeah, I had no idea. I just randomly picked a place. So yeah, I'll check it out. I'll look in the area, and I'll find a place right there. So they did. They had a great date. And she goes, I'm sitting there riding the train to this date going, I can't believe how many times I haven't done that. I've been frustrated before I even got there because I was sitting there going, well, he asked me out. Yeah, I don't really like that place, or I don't like that area of town, or I don't eat that kind of food, but I guess I'll go. You're already compromised. You're not going to be your best self because you're not excited about going.
Mm-hmm.
So I invite you, if that comes up, partner with them. Be a partner and say, hey, you know what? I just know I'm going to be tired if I have to take that many commutes. Or that's a bad area of town for me. Or that's hard for me to get to that time of day. Whatever it is. Remember, he doesn't know. He doesn't know where you live. That's part of the reason why you're meeting, right? Because you don't want to have him coming to your house. So he has no idea. You could have said, I live in XYZ town. That doesn't mean it's your part of town that he's thinking of. So again, start partnering right away. And if the guy's a jerk about it, cancel the date. Why go on the date when the guy's like, well, no, I don't want to drive, so you have to come here. Do you really want to finish that one?
Right.
No. Be a partner from the very beginning.
Thank you, Ken. I like that concept. I think that's really powerful. And ladies, you have to make sure to tune in to Ken's wonderful interview on the event, because he's going into a lot of depth about how to get to the second date and beyond. And we had a really, really great conversation. I know you're going to love it. Welcome. So glad you're here. And thank you, Ken. And Happy New Year, everybody. Bye for now.